Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today we're going to make a beachy spiral. Start by smoothing out as many wrinkles as you can, and then decide where you want the center of your spiral to be and give it a little pinch. And then using a hemostat and the microwave splatter guard, I'm going to create the spiral. So you want to click the hemostat down on the first click. It does not need to be overly tight. And then give it 2, 3, 4 twists. That's it. With the opposite hand, you're going to create the pleats and create the spiral. So if you watch, I pull the t-shirt out and around, and I go as far as I can using the microwave splatter guard until I can't go any farther. I hold down the center of the spiral, unclick the hemostat, and gently wiggle it out. I like to secure my spirals by using rubber bands. I just find them to be quick and easy. You could also use kite string. You could even use sinew if you wanted to create white lines on it. It really is just a matter of preference. And these are my favorite rubber bands in the color purple. And I do have a link down below in the description box for them, along with everything else that I use for tie-dye, so go ahead and check that out. So what I'm doing right now is I'm tightening up the spiral. So I'm pulling on all of the loose tails, working on the pleats, and I'm tucking them into the nearest rubber band. And I will go around and around doing this until when I pull on them, they just don't do anything. Then I know I have a nice tight spiral, so that way if I need to pick it up or flip it, move it around, it's not going to fall apart on me. Now it's time to create some type of an ice barrier, and these are silicone cake molds. And yes, there are links down below in the description box. If you don't have the cake molds, you could use cardboard, you could even use tin foil. I just like these silicone cake molds because I can wash them off and reuse them. Now it's time for the fun part. We get to add the dye. And remember me saying that my sister was going to Hawaii, so I was making just a bunch of shirts that I thought would be pretty and beachy. You know, when you're at the tropical waters of Hawaii, I feel like bright, soapy, green, blues, they just sort of match the scenery. Don't forget, over at www.boredomwithjen.com, right now there is 10% off if you use the coupon code Belladonna, and it expires on Halloween, so 10/31 of 2022. So if you want to get yourself a sinew puller and matching caddy set, I recommend that you head over and do it right now. This is just a very classic traditional spiral. It's going to have 6 lines of color. So let's talk about the setup. I have this on a very slight incline. So do you notice how my rack is up over the top of the tote? These closet-made racks have like a little lip on them. So I've just hooked that over the edge. And then down at the bottom, I've elevated the rack using an empty dye jar. That way it's not going to sit down in the muck water. I don't want any of that to happen. Plus it changes the incline level so it's not as steep. I don't want a lot of streaks. I just want a little bit of movement in this shirt. A lot of the blue dye is sort of dense and sticky. It doesn't really want to cooperate and sprinkle on the shirt really easy, so it's just a little time consuming, but just use the back of your spoon to smooth it out. Once I have the dye on the project the way that I like it, I give it a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure. I'm going to be adding quite a bit of ice to this project, so I want to make sure the pH stays up around 10.5 to 11. Next, it's recommended that you let the project batch at 70 degrees or higher for at least 24 hours after the ice melts. And I just put foil on it. You don't have to do that. I just wanted to set it aside and leave it for a couple of days. Notice how the yellow looks clumpy, looks like it didn't dissolve. That's completely normal when working with yellows. I just wanted to point that out to you. When I first started tie-dyeing, ice dyeing specifically, I thought that the dye wasn't dissolving, so I would continue to add ice to the project. That's not necessary. Like I said, it's completely normal for the yellow to still look clumpy after the first layer of ice. If you have a whole bunch of dye that didn't dissolve, go ahead and add a second layer of ice. Now it's time for the rinse out. You want to start by using cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that might still be reacting within the fabric, and then increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. From here, I take it to the washing machine, and I like to do hot water cycles using Carolon. Carolon is a professional textile detergent. And then I like to do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft. And Millsoft is a professional fabric softener. And yes, you can find the links down below in the description box. It just makes it easy for you to find. And then I put it in the dryer and I'll iron it, and we'll come back and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. Here's our beachy spiral, and I think it turned out beautiful. If I was traveling to an island, this is the type of tie-dye that I would want to wear. So the lighter of the blues is the Aqua Marine, and then the darker of the blues is the Caribbean blue. And then the bright yellow is obviously the yellow, and it splits down into some orangey tones. So when it mixes with the blues, it kind of gets a little bit of a more like a avocado type green to it, which I think is really pretty. So overall, I'm very pleased with the way the shirt turned out. My sister ultimately didn't take it with her. Wasn't really her cup of tea, but I know that someone somewhere will like to wear this shirt, because if you're anything like me, you'll also find it beautiful. So overall, I'm very pleased with the way it turned out. I know that we're moving into fall colors and winter stuff, but sometimes you just gotta make a shirt for someone to take on vacation, like this. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!